When people express frustration with their economic situation, the most common advice is, just get a better job. It sounds reasonable, it sounds empowering, but it completely misunderstands how economic mobility actually works. Let's break down why. Just get a better job assumes better jobs are available where you live, you have the resources to access them, you can afford the risk of transition. The barriers are purely about effort. None of these are guaranteed. Better paying jobs are geographically concentrated. Tech jobs, San Francisco, Seattle, Austin, New York. Finance, New York, Chicago, Boston. Biotech, Boston, San Diego, Research Triangle. If you live in a region where the dominant industry declined, manufacturing towns, rural communities, former mining areas, better jobs often don't exist locally. So the advice becomes, move. But moving isn't simple when housing costs in opportunity cities are 2 to 3 times higher than where you currently live. Median rent in San Francisco, $3,000 or more. Median rent in Toledo, Ohio, around $800. If you're already struggling to save, how do you afford first month, last month deposit in moving costs? Plus, you leave behind family support networks, free childcare from grandparents, shared housing, community ties. Mobility isn't just permission, it requires capital. Student loans, medical debt, car payments, credit cards. Debt fundamentally changes your risk calculation. If you're one missed paycheck away from defaulting, you can't afford to quit your current job to retrain, take a pay cut for a better long-term opportunity, move to a new city without a guaranteed position, or invest in education that might pay off in 5 years. Debt forces short-term thinking. When you're in survival mode, long-term opportunity becomes irrelevant. Learn to code, get new skills, adapt. Sounds great, but coding boot camps cost $10,000 to $20,000. Trade school, $5,000 to $15,000. Community college, $3,000 to $4,000 per year. If you're working full-time just to survive, when do you attend classes? When do you study? When do you complete internships or apprenticeships? And if your job has unpredictable scheduling, how do you commit to a fixed class schedule? Just get a better job assumes time and money that most people don't have. Here's what nobody mentions. Many better jobs have implicit age bias. A 45-year-old switching careers faces being overqualified for entry positions, lacking recent experience in a new field, competing with 25-year-olds willing to work for less, and ageism, subtle or explicit. Just get a better job assumes a level playing field. It's not. When millions of people face the same barrier, it's not an individual problem. If the advice is, move to where the jobs are, but housing there is unaffordable for median workers, that's structural. If the advice is, get more education, but education requires debt that constrains your choices for decades, that's structural. If the advice is, switch careers, but switching requires resources you don't have while working full-time, that's structural. Individual grit can't solve collective structural failures. Just get a better job serves a purpose. It places responsibility entirely on individuals. If workers are struggling because they're not trying hard enough, then we don't need to discuss wages, we don't need to address housing costs, we don't need to reform healthcare, we don't need to regulate anything at all.